In the summer of 1937, the outport of Hay Cove, Newfoundland, was a haven. A place where men fished for cod or herring, and women washed and cooked, and raised children who played by the sea. Most of the outports are now gone, leaving little behind but memories of a culture lost and stories from a time that once was. But Hay Cove has been rebuilt. Once again, it is 1937, and the men are fishing for cod. The waters off the island of Newfoundland were once home to the great cod fishery. Along the coast, hundreds of small outports sprang up, providing homes to generations of men who worked the seas. They were places like Hay Cove in Placentia Bay. 2 Newfoundland families have been chosen to spend the summer in Hay Cove. Their quest? Live off the sea as their ancestors did.
I think I found either an eyeball or...
The Wheelers are from the city of St. John's, where Ralph is a university professor. His son, Elliot, is 11 and has settled in well. But his 14-year-old daughter, Anna, is not happy. Her problem? Mary Ann Graham, the 75-year-old grandmother who lives upstairs.
I'm sick of having to live with Mary Ann and her strong ideas and her beliefs and how she doesn't mind telling us all about them and how she thinks we agree or she wants us to agree. She's a very strong-minded person and she has no problem telling us her ideas, but when you don't agree with most of them, it's really hard to keep listening to them, you know? It just rots me, that's the thing. I have no say.
The neighbors are the Murrays, Monty, Annie, and their 3 children.
What would you say to people about your life in 1937?
It's isolated. Isolated. It's hard work. It's a steady grind. Come on.
Monty is what Newfoundlanders call a bay man, a no-nonsense sort who tackles problems head-on. And right now, Harold St. Croix is a problem. Harold lives with the Murrays. He's their shareman, their hired hand. But Harold has injured his finger and cannot fish.
It's getting a bit better. I got to keep putting a glove on it. So, you know, it's improving. The swelling has gone down. It's still a bit sore.
He's a very good, kind-hearted person, but you gotta respect the fact, you know, that he can't do what is required of him. You can only chop wood and help on land so much, but in a fishing village, when fishing is what you need to do, that's just not gonna cut it.
Well, I guess today's mucky outside the tea drinking, eh?
Yeah.
The families don't have enough food to feed someone who cannot fish. They must decide if Harold stays or goes.
If he was my chairman in 37, it would be out on the next boat.
It's just a tough life.
It was a tough life, and you know, if you're counting down your cupfuls of flour to September when the merchant was due in again, that would be many cups of flour that you could save, and beans and provisions.
I don't think if somebody hurt their finger or had an infected finger that they'd be shipped out. They would be cared for and looked after until they were well enough to go back and do a full duty.
Monty is Harold's boss, and he has the final word.
You do have the option of firing him.
Yeah. We're not going to go that far.
Like many outport communities, the Hay Cove families are deeply in debt to a local merchant. They must catch 12,000 pounds of cod by hand to settle their bill. Most days, they catch 20 or 30 5-pound fish. At this rate, they'll fall short and will end the season broke.
Anything? Oh. We're at 2,500 pounds of fish caught. We've got a nice site picked out over here where we're we're going to spend some more time just working together. Right.
I gotta be able to bend it in my hand.
Okay, I need more to hook
pull it
off.
back.
I'm
Yeah.
in front of you trying to bait a hook, and it's
Yeah, I know. Well, let me get the hook right behind me, buddy.
But working together is easier said than done, especially hauling in the trawl. 400 meters long with a hook every meter. One good catch will fill their boat. But the men have not set it right.
What do you think's happened?
It's she's stuck to the bottom. And so much tension on it right now that the danger is, the risk is high that it could slip through our hands, right?
Outport fishermen lived under constant pressure. Monty and Ralph feel it too.
Oh, yeah, some tension on that.
They must catch fish to pay their debt. But the men are fishing as competitors, not friends.
He's on a little bit of an ego trip here. He knows everything about everything, and he wants everybody to know that and likes to tell everybody in great detail. We baited the trawl the other day, 400 hooks, and he basically commented on every single hook that I baited until I finally said, Monty, if you want to do it your way, then here, you bait the hook. So he baited the last 100 or so hooks.
The fishing grounds off Hay Cove are still rich with cod.
There we go.
Yet on this day, like many others, the boats come home half empty. Day 30. Annie and Marianne set out on an age-old Newfoundland ritual. Hidden in the wild rose hills are a midsummer's treat, bake apples. These rare berries are found in the marshes of Newfoundland and nowhere else.
I don't know if this one's right. Pick it anyway.
Let me see those.
I got a little bit there.
And they taste slightly bitter.
Bittersweet, yeah, it's very unique, the taste is. It's between, I find it's between a bit of a raspberry and almost peachy a bit too.
They're a low-growing berry, and they're found on barrens, and you can get into very boggy, muddy spots.
Marianne and Annie have become close friends. In fact, Annie's children call her Nan. Outport women depended on each other, as men did at sea. Mother or sister, friend or neighbor, ties ran deep.
I think we sort of clicked when we first met. I find that we're almost like soulmates. We like the same sort of thing, and we think a lot of the same way I feel.
I feel the same way, yeah.
Anna Wheeler has no friends here. At 14 and on the cusp of young adulthood, she is alone.
Well, this is a boring diary entry. Let's talk about something interesting. Oh yeah, there's nothing interesting around here. Okay, watch me for 3 seconds. This is what life is like every day. It's boring as like hell. It is. There is absolutely nothing to do.
Anna has lots to do. She just doesn't like her choices. When she came to Hay Cove, she agreed to look after the garden, an important job. The growing season is short, but vegetables will grow with a little work. Anna, however, has given up. But today is a special day. The mail has arrived. Although they must cross the island to pick it up, this is one chore they're happy to do.
It's really actually exciting because it's the closest thing to a phone call. Dear Elliot, it's me, Ted. This isn't going to be a very long letter. No, I'm not. No, I haven't gotten a new GameCube game.
Elliot, it's 1937. What's a GameCube?
Oh, yeah, that's from Monica.
It's your daughter.
Oh, I guess she's using, I know what she's doing. She's using the calendar from the bathroom.
Outport families treasured their mail, which came weekly during the summer. But in the winter, Hay Cove could be iced in. Months might pass with no mail at all.
Where's your letter from?
My friend Matthew?
Now, Matthew's not your boyfriend, is he?
No.
Should I believe you?
I don't know.
It's just a male friend?
Yes. Got some letters from my friend Matthew. Yeah. Here's a part of this letter. Hold on, see, he says a lot of stuff. I want you to know that I spent a lot of time over the summer thinking about us, and we do mean a lot. Touching moment. I love getting letters because it feels like when you live here day to day, you kind of forget, you know, I forget what's going on at home. I feel like this is my life and this is the only thing I have, and you know, it goes on day after day like this, and then you go, oh, you got mail, and then you open it and it's like nothing has changed, and it's like it really, really, really does feel like there's another world.
There was nothing there than just the bare place. There was no people there. And I'd be home with one half the family, another half all around the pets, we call it. And then, you know, so there was lots of days that you were lonely if you got the time to think about it for the rest of your family.
Listen, what are we going to do about this Saturday night now, this party?
Yeah, because we got to start working tomorrow, eh?
The women are throwing a party. After 6 weeks of isolation, Annie and Marianne have invited the neighbors over. Even Anna is keen to help.
And Elliot and I want to make cookies.
Oh, good.
Which we'll do.
I think we should have a couple of things in the fish line, say the mussels and the chowder, which I'll help Anna do if she wants me to. And
Cookies and chowder, chocolate cake and bake apple jam. Outport women did a lot with a little. But it all took work, which makes life at the Wheeler house difficult. Ralph spends his days at sea, and Marianne is tough on the kids. Baking for the party is anything but fun.
Put that in that water. Oh, you can wash your hands first. What?
Wash my hands in that?
In the pan over here. But if there's any dirt there under your nails anywhere, it has to come up, and I'll inspect them. We don't need any contamination.
Marianne's rules make sense. Clean hands keep disease away. But for Anna, it's a matter of power, not reason.
Okay. Put the sugar in that bowl and sprinkle a good heaping tablespoonful of yeast over the top.
And like most 14-year-olds, she resents being told what to do.
I don't know why she got mad at me for being lazy. I had no idea how to do any of that stuff. I didn't even know how to make butter or anything. I didn't know anything. I was just a city kid coming in here.
We get on each other's nerves. I know sometimes I get agitated. Sometimes I think that if this carries on much longer, the kids and we're going to go a bit nutty.
Meanwhile, out on the bay, the wind is rising. Harold has begun fishing again, and he and Ralph have freed the trawl.
West or southwest? South.
It is heavy and dangerous to haul in. 400 fish hooks can do a lot of damage. Ralph has brought some boards to keep the trawl straight, but they're too small. He needs Monty's.
You don't have those wide boards, do you?
Five like that?
No, the wide boards.
Boy.
They're too thin.
But Monty misunderstands and sails away. Moments later, Ralph strikes fish.
Fish on! Your job is a bait, Harold.
You thought it was big fish, but we're out of the little.
Morning. How's the fishing this morning?
Oh, not real good. I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. Didn't get a whole lot.
It has been another bad day of fishing for Monty. He's catching enough to feed his children, but his share of the debt still looms.
Forecast calls for high wind,
But those small ones we can put in the pan there and they'll...
This is a real small one.
Right on.
Monty is a proud man who knows to keep his family out of poverty, he'll have to work longer days in more dangerous seas.
You gotta have a lot of respect for the people who lived this lifestyle for so many years and enjoyed it, didn't complain about it. It's extremely busy, and it's hard work, it's steady work.
– 9 p.m. and the warm evening settles over Hay Cove. For generations, Newfoundland fishermen worked from the dark of morning to the dark of night. For the families, the sound of the homecoming engine was both a relief and a reminder. The day was not over yet. No one rested until the cod was cleaned and salted. No one ate until the work was done. Ralph and Harold have fished all day. Monty, who came home early, has missed out. Competition between fishermen is inevitable. But at Hay Cove, there is also competition between cultures. Ralph is from the city, Monty from the bay. But the sea is a great equalizer, and their past lives mean nothing to the Atlantic.
How's it going over there, Monty? Not too dark. Of course, you've split enough now just to go by feel, I suppose. Huh?
Ralph and Monty respect each other's skills, but both are tormented by a difficult question. Are they the men their forefathers were? With their sons looking on, they compete to find their answers.
We're just getting ready for our visitors of the week. We got some musicians coming in, and we're going to have a old-fashioned kitchen party tonight. So we've got about 70 pounds of mussels that we're going to boil up here. We'll take them and saute them this afternoon with a couple of onions from the garden. They should be nice as a side dish.
A little Chardonnay, and you'll be all set.
Little Chardonnay, and we'll be all set. Yeah. We have some escargot later on as well. So.
It's hot.
Let them cool off a little bit. They're a bit warm. These are periwinkles.
Periwinkles.
Anna's favorite, and Annie's. And these are mussels.
It's good for the party, eh?
Good for
the party.
What do you have there, Annie?
I got the chocolate cake. That was my part for the supper tonight, the dessert there. I did quite well with what I had.
Great.
Yes.
Monty, you're looking good.
Cleaned up pretty good.
Dressed up, handsome on a Saturday night.
There was a time when the Warehams would have been regular visitors to Hay Cove. They're from Harbour Buffett, the outport next door. After 200 years, Their family moved away in 1967 when the jobs dried up.
It's almost 40 years, so why do you still go back now?
Because of the memories, the good memories that we had growing up. And I can go around Harbour Buffet, as I'm sure First Ken and all my brothers and the family, and sit on a stump or a rock and think about just good, really good memories. And it's good for the morale, it's good for the spirit, and it's good for the soul. Just to get back there.
House parties may have been good for the soul, but they were bad for the liver. Newfoundlanders can party like cod can swim, endlessly.
They mostly have dances in the kitchen, and some of the houses had small kitchens on it, and a whole bunch of them would take the stove, the fire to be out, of course. Some take down the furnace and take out the stove and move the stove out in the yard, out in the garden somewhere, and then to make more room for dancing, see?
In 1937, 4 families lived at Hay Cove. And like all families, they created garbage.
This is one of these quality moments with your kids. Here's one, now look.
Yeah. What is it?
A saucer, made in England.
Yes. Full saucer, look at that.
We're finding everything from bits of broken pottery to chamber pots, broken chamber pots, medicine bottles, all kinds of things. I guess back then they didn't really have a central garbage. They just threw it out into the pond here. I guess that's what they did to a large extent. It seems logical that they would have walked straight out and just flung it out into the pond. So there's lots of it here. It's tedious going, hard on the hands, but Elliot seems to enjoy it.
We found this piece on the first day, and today we found this piece, and it matches.
Cool. So they didn't swim in here, they threw their junk. This was their junkyard.
Yeah. And I found some artifacts in the back of our house. So.
As Harold would say, one man's junk's another man's treasure.
Yeah.
The Murray children, too, have found something special.
Come and see them. They're little babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? We saw them part one day we were kissing. We found them up in the woods. We were cutting trees, and then we saw them jump out, and we caught them. Mitchell caught one. First I thought it was a muskrat.
What are we going to do with them, guys?
Maybe we can let them go back in the woods tonight. Yeah.
Little bunnies, they're probably missing their mom and dad.
They're sad, and they're real scared.
So what do you want to do, Wilson? You want to bring them back home to their mom and dad? We should. I know you want to keep them, baby, but do you think their mom and dad misses them? Oh, it's okay. That's a tough decision, isn't it? It's not easy.
Monty believes making hard decisions is good for his children. He teaches them respect. He teaches them discipline. But most of all, he teaches them to be strong.
How about we leave them there?
Why?
Okay? And we'll come get the barrel tomorrow.
And see if they're gone.
Yeah, but they'll probably be gone tomorrow, won't they?
We have no refrigeration here. We keep all the food in the pantry. And the problem is my pantry is getting really warm, especially when my stove is working hard. Like all morning today, I had the stove going for baking bread and cooking my food. So I have a problem that my milk is turning sour. Usually I always cook a big meal so I have some leftovers for the day after. But overnight, the leftovers are turning bad.
Leftovers are every mother's best friend, especially in large families. Annie needs a cooler. And Monty knows just what to do. Electricity didn't come to many outports until after the Second World War. Food spoilage was common. But a broken water barrel placed in a hole in the forest makes an ideal outport refrigerator.
Probably some kind of a mini cellar or something, I guess.
When it comes to looking after his family, Monty usually finds a way.
Woohoo! Thank you, man.
You're welcome, baby.
Wow. Here we go. See that? It's really nice and cool in there.
Keep ice cream in there now, baby. Huh?
You guys are a pretty good team.
Oh, we are.
Yeah. You always work together so well?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
There you go.
Time to go get milk, is it, baby? Let's go. Come on.
Making me jealous now.
Come on, Mabel. Come on.
On the evening of their 40th day, the families meet to discuss their remaining food supplies.
What we may have to do, I think, is take stock of all vegetables that are there and decide how much we're going to have per week per person.
I know I packed on 25 pounds before I came here, so...
So are you suggesting you'll starve for the group for the next 2 weeks? Is that the idea?
They're on a diet.
We can catch up, you know, if we had somebody who would go on a total fast for the next 2 weeks.
I think it's unfair that we who are consuming the goods didn't have a say in how much was there. I think it's also unfair that we should suffer with if the cellar wasn't done properly. And I just don't think it's right. I mean, did the people have starve in the 30s?
What they had in 37 is irrelevant. What we've got is what we've got. I think for the immediate future, if we split the potatoes and the carrots, then you can bunch it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
I would say there's about 130 in there.
Oh, there are way more than 100 potatoes. There's definitely not going to be enough left for the whole summer.
The families are worried the vegetables are running low. Anna and Elliot have been sent to count what's left.
These are like soggy with mold, and that's just rotten.
We have about 50 turnips, 40 carrots, 150 potatoes, and 100 good onions, and about 50 parsnips.
Yep.
What do you think?
I think we're either going to have to start eating less, or we could just eat it all and then starve.
Sounds probably like eating less.
Yeah.
Outport families relied heavily on their gardens. Seaweed or rotting fish mixed into the soil made it richer. Annie has worked on her garden all summer, and her crop is bountiful.
Oh, cool.
Why'd you say, whoa, look at this?
Oh, look at this big turnip.
Big turnip. What's the size of your turnip head?
Look what we got out of our garden today.
First, only the beets were only that little. Now they're like this. Yeah. Some big, aren't they? Yeah.
The Wheelers have no garden. Anna grew tired of picking rocks and quit. In 1937, this would not have happened. The gardens were just too important. But the Wheelers have a plan.
I thought we could try to get to know each other before you're my dinner tonight. Maybe if you tried to be more compassionate to me, and things would have been different. Don't give me that attitude. See, even now you're not listening. I just feel bad because we have to kill him. But I want to watch.
Yeah, I'm the executioner on this job, I guess. I drew short straw on this one.
So what's the plan?
We're gonna go over and get him. He's there in the chicken coop, and dispatch him around the corner as efficiently, as effectively as possible, and get him in the pan by 5 o'clock.
Ralph's victim? One of their 2 roosters.
Father?
The noisy one.
Here's your broom sock. Don't do it. No. Here, I'll just, Okay. My father's a cold-blooded murderer.
What's he doing there?
I don't want to know. He's gonna beg the rooster. Dad!
Close this door. Okay, there you go, chicken. All right.
Oh my God!
Okay, just finish off.
Oh, jeez.
Now it's dead.
Yep. Just finishing off. That's what killing chickens are all about. Imagine doing 100 like that.
Is it good? Not really.
The bird is tough, the meat greasy, and the kids don't like the taste.
It's not that good, actually.
But it's a welcome change from cod and more cod. And by the end of the meal, the Wheelers have wasted little.
Hay Cove.
I remember one time we dug 40 barrels of potatoes 1 year just for our family. We had enough, for all. We sold some in the fall, and we had enough for all the winter. It was hard work.
Early August. The air is warm with promise and rich with summer perfumes. The families are trekking across the island to help some neighbors with making hay.
So this looks like a lovely day to do some haying.
It was beautiful.
This is a great idea.
Yeah, and enough wind so we won't get overcome with the heat.
The Slade family has lived here for as long as anyone can remember. Cutting grass, raising turkeys, and offering refreshing drinks on a hot day.
Sonny lives on a farm. He's very young man. He does all he does, and he does what he can.
With winter approaching, making hay was an important task. Hay fed the cow, and the cow fed the families.
There's all kinds of rocks. They haven't been cut for years.
Never had a chance to cut hay with a side before. It's nice to have a good crack at it.
Wasn't enough for everybody, like, 'cause you wanted this and you wanted that.
It was also a chance to chat with the neighbors and for the kids to have some fun.
Rebuild! Bring it higher!
For years, it's been rumored that Kingwell was where the bootleggers lived. But the Slades say that's just gossip. Rum running has always been a part of outport life, and Placentia Bay was known for its mysterious schooners. On this day, there appeared to be no booze around. But as the afternoon wore on, Harold became spirited and his mood soared. he finally came home around midnight, claiming he'd spent his evening discussing turkeys and the weather. The next day, Ralph fishes with Elliot, and for the first time, Monty takes his son, Mitchell, to sea.
I feel it's my right as a Newfoundlander, it's my birthright and my God-given right to come out here and handline fish for a meal.
Do you feel as strongly, Ralph, as Monty appears to about birthright and father-son ability to do this?
I don't think I'm as militant as Monty. I certainly would like to have the opportunity to do this with my son on occasion. I think that connection with the sea, passing it on from father to son, has been broken. And it was broken in the last 15 or 20 years when people were driven out of the fishery by virtue of the fact that they needed to make a living elsewhere.
And I'm wondering if that's the future just over your shoulder there.
That's it, pal.
The tanker.
A couple of 100 miles offshore, they're bringing up black gold. It's the new cod. At the moment, myself and Monty have got a little bit of a difference of opinion when it comes to fishing, and I guess there's a bit of a competitive streak in both of us.
And yet you keep getting...
I've had a couple of good days to fish. He's had a couple of not so good days, but who's keeping track?
Me and Sorry all grudge for a long, long time. Some people never spoke to one another for years. Men was worse than women. You know? And sometimes they have a row and then they go to church and they get converted and they go shake hands with one another. And I remember that, you know.
Day 50. The storms of August finally reach the Wheeler house. Anna wants to take over the kitchen, which is fine with Ralph. But Marianne is not happy.
I can't be who she wants me to be. She said there must be something wrong with me because I'm the first kid that she can't get along with. I mean...
That must hurt, hey?
Yeah.
Things aren't quite as happy as they could be in the Wheeler household. My kids and I would very much like a change at this point. I want Anna to feel what it's like to be a 14-year-old girl responsible for doing the daily chores every day without the supervision and under the watchful eye of a supervisor.
We're sick of the way the households are, you know. We had a choice from the beginning. If we get to switch households, you know, if we want to change things around. And there's only 3 weeks left. Count, folks. 3 weeks. 3.5, actually. But we do think that there should be a change. The change, Marianne leaving our house so I can run the household, and Harold leaving the Murrays and coming over here. And I'm just way too tired think about it anymore because I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm really scared when the meeting's gonna be because she's gonna try to kill me. Okay.
In an effort to be open and frank with people, thought I'd bring this, it's not an issue, it's a concern, and it's something that I've, you know, been thinking about for a while, obviously, and it concerns Marianne and our household. And that is that we've been here 7 weeks now, and it's my opinion and my feeling that Anna should be given an opportunity to run the household.
I'd like to know exactly where Ralph was coming from, because first when we started out here, I asked Anna, you know, what do you want to do? What would you like to do? And just shrugged her shoulders and walked out the door. So things went on from bad to worse till I finally asked to call a meeting and see what could we do to set up a structure. And I, for one, thought it was rather cleared up.
It's taken her 7 weeks to get to this point. And
now she
suggested
thinks
she
she
wasn't
can take
willing
over.
to do anything the first 2 weeks. Hell, if you wanted to look at us the first 2 or 3 weeks and said, how much fishing did we do as a bunch of fishermen? We did nothing. Because we were trying to get established here. Same as all of us were. Trying to get here and get squared away and to start to
Well,
operate
what does
a house.
Anna want to do now?
I want to be able to run the house. Because when I got here, I didn't know how to do any of this kind of stuff. And if it took me like this long to learn how to do it all, then...
So you don't need my help anymore? You would rather do it all on your own? That's interesting. I must be a good teacher, eh? And you a good learner.
I don't know.
It's probably going to take more than sitting down for a half hour talking about it. It's going to take dialogue over time to heal whatever wound is there or whatever misgivings is felt. Or it takes a while to change, but you're probably not going to settle no issue tonight.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
it's not
As far as living arrangements, it's 7 weeks now, and everyone is pretty well settled into to a steady routine. I'm not prepared to make any decision now on that.
Why do you think it's such like a bad idea to like switch households with?
I'm not going to switch households. That's a given.
Why not?
Because I don't want to. I'm here settled for 7 weeks, and I have no intentions of moving out of my digs.
But
If it doesn't
the
suit-
was that we would have choices.
Well, that's my choice. I'm making my choice.
You're making it for everybody.
I'm making it for me.
But you're making it for everybody.
Well, anybody else can say what they want. If you want to move out, well, you have a choice to move out.
Why would I move out?
Well, why would I move out?
Because it's our house.
It's my house too.
I think she has it all wrong from the beginning to think this is some kind of personal attack against her or something. I mean, it took me this long to learn how to do all this stuff, and then she won't even give me a chance. And
I've had a feeling all along that there's a resentment of my being here. And I don't really see why I should be the one who's flexible at this stage of the game. I mean, if Anna can't cope, well, maybe the best thing for her to do is go home.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Next time on Quest for the Sea.
I don't have to show respect to her anymore. It's like, who lives in this house? Oh, it's the Wheeler residence. And dirt. Okay, that's what she's told me. Dirt.
Moving day. The Wheelers move out and move in with the Murrays.
My dad would rather sleep with Harold than to go sleep at the Murrays. That's telling you something.
And for Annie, it's one surprise after another.
What is that?
A pregnancy test.
You've got too much salt.
The merchant's bill collector arrives, and Hay Cove is uprooted as the families are resettled. Join us next time for the final dramatic episode of Quest for the Sea.
It's brutal out there now.